Nothing was done until my big boss went over there and got attacked. He says,
this is the forward torpedo, which is very obvious, this being a torpedo aircraft. Those are the launching tubes up there. There's 6 of them, 2 stacks of 3, so it could fire 6 torpedoes at a time. They would store 16 of those weapons in this room, and 20 men called this room home. Talk about elephants in a light bulb. These are the bunks that had room. Originally there was 10 bunks in there, 22 members that were people sleep. And that's the case throughout the subway. There's 40 bunks for people. The torpedo tubes were solid brass. There's about 1.25 tons of brass in each tube. The reason brass was used is the one thing is seawater resistant, and also if you would strike it with a tool, you wouldn't make a spark. The torpedo carried 400 pounds of high explosive vortex, and the fuel for it was 182 great alcohol, moonshine. So there's a lot of explosives and a lot of fuel here.
That's a powerful audio amplifier. It's essentially an audio amplifier. It's a 1500 watt pulsed audio amplifier. The final tube in it is a 610.
One of the fuels they used at one time was hydrogen peroxide, and that stuff.
Get a look at this sonar transmitter. Again, it's essentially an audio amplifier. This thing back here.
so you didn't have to sleep back and you have devices back there.
This has got to be the officers when it's here. There's 3 ranks of a civil.
This hatch down here, this goes down to the forward battery, which covers the whole bottom of this one.
That receiver in front of you, it's an entertainment
Hey, can we come back to school?
Yes. Thank you.
This is the board. No idea what it's for. Speedometer, 2 throttles, and another indicator. This is a the lane C system. Yeah, that's it. Good for about a mile and a half. Mile and a half out of sea. Pittsburgh up there. Yeah. This monitor here monitored the hydrogen in the battery compartments. There were so many batteries they had to be very careful about the amount of hydrogen where they have to use against that. This is the main gyro compass here. This is the gyro. Magnetic compasses don't work under here, so they use the gyro compass.
They have to reset it.
Before they go to sea, they turn it on. It'd take about a day for it to come up to speed. There's a little motor there. It would run continuously. They would navigate by the stars, celestial navigation, and they would check the gyro compass. But the gyro compass was close enough for general survey. That would operate these compasses. Plus, the motors are driving into the water, so they could be down to 60 feet in 30, 40 seconds. This is the bitch box. The Navy still uses the same thing. We had some guys come through here from nuclear submarines and they say, "Oh, we use the same thing." So it works. They don't. This is the radio room. Yeah, we can squeeze one more in. This is where the hams do their thing. That's the radio we use for the amateur radio. It's an old 738. We also have a pair of Swan here that we can use. This is the old military equipment. It still works.
Does the R390 still?
R390 works. Those things are a pain in the ass. These are the first radios that you could actually dial the frequency in that you wanted. Before that, to get the right frequency on this radio, you use this. It's called an LM freak meter. You put the frequency dialed in here. Remote. There was one up on the bridge, one in the captain's cabin, where you could patch your radio up to his cabin. And these things here, this little transmitter receiver here, it's a TCS 13.
I was looking at the other one. New York strips. Staying 100.
Because they like a storage, when they went out this thing, every square inch was filled with non-perishables.
Yeah.
Cans everywhere.
Yeah.
They would do the perishables first, then they would go with it. Cans.
Artificial respiration.
This is where the sailors are.
Yep.
But this thing was popular.
there's a picture of a crew. That's a picture of the crew of this boat.
Do you know when it was taken? Do you know when the picture was taken?
Probably during a war. Or right now. That's really the people building it. That's the boss's office. That's the boss, that young woman. I'm sorry.
Or was that here?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're looking at. No, this was okay. This is all. This is the main induction pipe that takes air throughout the submarine, and it comes from. It's underneath the deck of the water. It comes from up the top.
I guess.
A little rugged.
How much maintenance do batteries need?
Most of there's still water on here.
I'd be more worried about.
These are the stills here. This is the still seawater for fresh water. These two guys here. They can make 400 gallons a day. But most of it went to batteries. And the cooks are the only ones who are allowed to shower every day. The engines are cooled with fresh water. That's what that expansion tank there is. There's a salt, the freshwater heat exchanger. And that's how they're cooled.
Are these engines at the opposing pistons?
We'll see one back here. That'll come along with you. This valve here, this closes up the exhaust valve. So when they would submerge, they'd have to close that valve about 15 seconds, and you can see the thread on that, how fine it is. You'd crank that arm until your arm fly off.
Yeah.
But you didn't want salt water coming down into the engines.
So, or if they did some desalination process, how did they do that?
Boil the water.
Oil.
It's as simple as that, yeah. And that's a very inefficient way of doing it, but now they use reverse osmosis filters. That was one of the previous hatches on the boat. They sealed that one out. This is it's a manometer. It measures the vacuum.
Oh, yeah. Strain gauge.
Just like your car, no, right? Pull the cover off of this one. There is each cylinder had two pistons in it, so it would fire. It would go like this. And this is the top crank, and there was a bottom crank. There were two-stroke diesels, dirty and noisy as hell, but they ran forever. This is the lube oil pipe. Lubricate the bearings. As you can see, to pull the piston out of there, you take out two pins, two nuts, pull the cap off, you pull the piston up. One thing, if they had to change the engine on, what they would do, they'd put the sub in a dry dock, and cut the submarine in half, and take the engine out that way. Put the engine back in, and roll up the hull. You can see here, the blow marks. So they had to roll up the hull again, and took the engine out.
We got a motor dash back behind there.
That's what it is. The
these levers, you can select different banks of batteries, different generators, or in reverse. That's what these are. These are the throttles here. They call back on the engine telegraph. Here. See, this is what I want, and they would set the controls accordingly. The two drive motors are underneath us. They're 2,700 horsepower motors. They operate 450 volts at 2,700 amps. There's two of them down there. And there's some pumps and the auxiliary equipment below us. Generators, motors.
Were these switching the full 2,700 amps?
They would generally throttle back if they could. Or to say they had to switch gears back. And if you look back there, the wiring is 4 inch by 6 pump. This is next to a pump. This is where all the electrical. Also, back that panel back there, there's a motor generator on here to generate the 110 AC for the electronic equipment. And there's also 400 cycle AC equipment on here. That's the same stuff they use in airplanes. They use some airplane instrumentation, so they had where they could generate some voltage at 400 cycles. There's a lot of them. So there's a little bit of this. Where we have the dances. It was the after torpedo. It was a after. There was 4 tubes in the back and 6 in the front. So it had 10 shots. Yeah, it was converted to a radar ship for a while. They extended it. There's a boat behind us. They had a surface search radar. So I look back at that, and that guy who started the railroad, Benny Boychuk, he taught at Duquesne University newscasting, graphic arts like that. He was very good with a video camera. So we went back on his boat back there, and I asked, I said, "Can you give us a sweep of the area?" Hell yeah. So then he put his camera on the radar and got a sweep of the area here. And at home, he put that sweep bar on it that you go around like that. So he gave me a CD, and we put it in there. It was a small. This is the power steering unit here. 5 horsepower motor. But it's a tractor. It's going to fire across the surface. They use flares a lot for signaling.
Now, if this would go out, was there a manual?
Not for the rudder.
So long. Good to see you.
We're not socializing still, even though the pandemic's over.
Well, that's
These two, each other.
We should do something fun sometime. At least I'll come see art.
We take us?
I was gonna say, you guys come to see us play radio?
Oh yeah, we'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Very convenient. We were the only ones on here.
Good timing on your part.
All right, take care, guys.
Did you find the boat?
Yeah, it's still there. Let's see. That's the field where he took a little Requin pulverized.
Oh, yeah.
This is where the engines end up. Ready for the bone out. These Atlantics, 442, they're cast iron, and you can repair them forever. 3 screws, 2 up here and 1 up here, the whole inside comes out. The thing that wears out on the most is these gears, the nylon gears. And inside there's a little DC motor. The track supplies 9 to 18 volts AC. These are DC, so I put a bridge rectifier in there to make AC with DC. So the motors are DC, and we put a little granary bulb up there. But as long as you can get the parts, you can rebuild these things. To get the gears out of there, you have to pull the back wheel off, and then take the shaft off. The wheels wear out also. The flange on the wheels on some of those engines are sharp as a razor. And sometimes the wheels just fail. There's a rubber band in here for traction, and that keeps the thing going. Pickup, of course, these pickups will fail. The biggest loop out here, I don't know how many feet it is, but in one day the engine will run close to 10 miles.
Wow.
And they run 7 days a week for about 2 or 3 months, then they fail. And they're built to run 3 or 4 hours a year, Christmas time. But that's all they run. They're old cast iron engines. Almost the tank engines. They have a card in there that makes whistle noises and all that. They fail. Generally, we just leave it on. This is engine. You can't fix it. But they're now, they have electronics in them. The other ones have a bridge rectifier, and that's it. All this other crap that's what that's on. Try to keep those things running as much as possible. And there's a little HO train that runs around over in the amusement park. Fix those things. These run all day long. These are the operating table. We got all here. That's one of the first gas stations in Pittsburgh, Gulf gas station. What was it? But that's the kind of courthouse. They moved the kind of courthouse, so it was originally built. So this one moved back and forth. There's 5 loops for the trains. And they just go continuously along those loops. The outside one here is the biggest one. That's the one that runs for miles ago.
I'm a little bit not there. Let's go first. What is that? You know? You got the one. Who is that? It's
That's the county airport. That's the campus.
I am monitored to admit no one at this hour. Our focus on the reliable nature of this object for the boy.